Lillian C asks us, and she is just as honest can be, God bless her. How do you handle inflation? Everything is a mess. Let me just say that. Let me just say that again. How do you handle inflation? Everything is a mess. Question mark. It's a question mark, right?
Right.
Question mark. Everything's a mess.
Okay, first of all, Lillian, yeah, agreed. I just need this on a t-shirt because it does feel like that. And I feel like a lot of what we shared today is a great place to start. And I honestly think for me, the biggest thing that I can do when I can see the cost of everything is raising, and I'm slowly kind of losing control of what's going out, or maybe we're not aware of what's going out. I think the biggest and best piece of advice that I will always give is to sit down and take a look at where your money's going. That clear view of your finances, like, we cannot underscore that enough. It is so important. And I think because it's like, and I was talking about this to Hans, it's kind of like the boiling point just starts really slow and you can't really see it happening. So things start to increase, more money starts to go out, and it's too late, I think, sometimes, where you're like, man, I am spending more than I thought that I was, because it's all happening in the background and it just becomes sort of normalized. You're just swiping the card, tapping to pay, whatever. So getting a couple of months, 3 to 6 months of your expenses, being able to see, here's what I'm spending, or maybe seeing how those expenses have gone up over time, will let you see where you can make some concessions, where you can continue to spend on the things that you need, but also where you might have let things go a little bit, or in the interest of how to continue to pay your bills, how to continue to show up for all of those obligations on time. Really seeing where you're at is going to make you feel the most comfortable and confident with what's happening, because then it's not so unexpected, and it's not so what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? You know what these things are going to cost you because you're aware and you're so in control of what's happening. So that would be, I think, my number one. The other one would be to really prioritize having that emergency cushion, because we know that this is a time when most people are digging into their savings. I mean, I've seen article after article, the inflation is causing Americans to spend their savings. It makes sense. I mean, we're all doing it. Everything costs more. The spending and saving plan that you had before went out the window because the numbers have shifted. So building that cushion for you for when things cost more than expected, or an expensive repair, something like that comes up, it all kind of feeds into financial confidence. You feel prepared, you understand what's out there, and you are better able to withstand the impacts of inflation. And it's not going to make it feel, better. Everything is expenses. Everything is a mess.
Yeah. Everything is a mess.
But I do feel like arming yourself with information, I do feel like having yourself be prepared to face what's out there will make you feel better about the mess, right? So it's still going to be there. There's no magic bullet, I guess, to help sort of fix what's going on around us, not for us anyway. So I think changing how you're approaching it, changing how you're reacting to what's happening, will make you feel more comfortable. So that's kind of what I would say. What would you say?
Yeah, the only thing that, obviously, getting a clear view of your finances is like the number one. So totally agree with you there. The only thing that I'd add to, you gave some really great advice and strategies, is checking in with yourself emotionally.
Yes, that's good.
So there, and setting some boundaries for other people right now too. And I like to say, I'm just protecting my peace right now. And so like, and so like, what does that look like for you? And then making it happen, because listen, if you don't set boundaries around right now, and it's a highly stressful time for a lot of us. So I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, don't spend. Like, again, going back to that spending and savings plan, you get to decide what works for you and your family right now. but you got to protect your peace in this too. So if there are people who are contributing to the stress that you're already experiencing because things are tighter than normal, then how can you protect your peace in that? Because listen, if you give an inch, people are going to take a mile. And
So
so
true.
yeah, and so being able to advocate for your own peace as much as possible right now is super important.